All right, so today we're gonna be looking at the new test ships that have entered testing on the test server for patch 15.5. So on the main server, these ships will be going into testing. So we'll be going over the new Pan American destroyer line, as well as the Almirante Irízar, the tier 10 Pan American cruiser, and I'm gonna call this thing the Fanta, the Triunfante. I'm gonna call it the Fanta, the tier 9 Spanish battleship. So before I go over them, I was gonna say that all these ships are currently in testing. So that means that their stats are not finalized and they are subject to change. So let's get started. All right, so for the Pan American line, there's going to be going all the way down from like tier 1 all the way down to tier 5. This is the tier 5 model here, as you can see here. This is the tier 6. I'm just going to take like a quick look at them, and then I'll go over like what their gimmick is for the line. So that's the tier 7. This is the tier 8. Looks like a Benson. Yeah. Then we have the Nueva. This looks like a Jutland. Yeah, it looks like a Jutland. Yeah. And then we have the 20D Julio. All right, so let's take a look at the line itself. So for the gimmick, so it has AP shells, 4-second reload, 120 millimeters, no HE. It has an auto armor piercing barrage. So if you hit enemy ships with a shell, it adds 4%. It acts for 10 seconds. It increases your AP shell damage by 33%. And it's an automatic activation. Pretty interesting. Okay. It gets an engine boost, a heal, and a toggleable reload booster you can turn on and off for a total of a minute. Survivability is 18,800. You can build into that. Torpedoes, you get 4 with a 97-second reload. Depth charges, bombs per charge is 16. They go off the bow. Anti-air is 6 kilometers. Continuous is anti-air is okay. Maneuverability 32 knots. Maneuverability 560, 4.1 rudder. Or the turning radius is actually pretty nice. Concealment 7.7 kilometers, so concealment's okay. It's not the stealthiest. All right, so it has strong AP with excellent ricochet angles. So high armor fuse threshold. So it has a longer fuse, so it's meant to pin more armor, as well as having improved ricochet angles. So the AP shells are essentially designed to hit light armored cruisers or medium like armored ships, but not like they're gonna overpin destroyers essentially. So if there's like an angle destroyer, then the AP will pin it. But if it's broadside to you, it's not going to pin. So this line seems more like a specialty line where it's meant to be more like a gunboaty kind of line, going after like being able to damage battleships, cruisers, and not as strong as like an anti-destroyer is what the feels like it's going to be. So an interesting line. It's going to be interesting whenever it goes out, but again, we have to wait and see how it goes like throughout its cycle. But yeah, the fact it gets an automatic 33% damage, so essentially you hit, let's see, 4%, you hit 25 shells, which isn't that many shells, you get actually 33% damage. That's pretty nice. And the shell speed was reduced to 825. Okay. So yeah, it's an interesting line for sure. Moving on, let's talk about the this ship here, the Almirante Irízar. So this thing, it's an interesting design ship. It's pretty interesting. Oh yeah, I forgot. I actually wanted to like look around the ship itself. But yeah, this is the design. It looks like a Smollett or Holland. That's what the design looks like essentially. But yeah, good looking ship. All right, going off this one, let's look at this one. This is the cruiser here. It looks like a Plymouth. Yeah, it looks like a Plymouth. Like a really long Plymouth. Yeah, how is the armor on this thing? It has pretty much British armor. Citadel is... essentially, it's a British Citadel, so meant to be squishy. 40,000 HP. Main guns are HE and AP. Secondaries. It's supposed to have special secondaries on this ship. So that's going to be interesting to look at that whenever it's done. So it's going to have special secondaries. Anti-air is okay. Concealment is good. Maneuverability. It's not the highest top speed. Radius, good turning radius. I'm expecting it to have British acceleration. Let's see. Let's look at the gimmicks here. So it gets a smoke, 20-second consumable time, 97-second dispersion time. So roughly you can build it into the smoke too. It's more like a Japanese smoke. So it gets hydroacoustics, 5 kilometers, defensive AA. Oh yeah, it gets no, it's armor piercing. Yeah, so it gets armor piercing, which is super rare. We haven't had an armor piercing. Sorry, what's it called? We haven't had an armor piercing secondaries ever since the Yamato used to have it, like a really long time ago. So it's interesting that they've brought it back for this ship. So I'm see how it goes through the process. It gets a normal heal, normal damage control party. With its F key, it makes it where it gets 33% more shell damage and a 33.3% better dispersion for the secondaries. And if an enemy ship is hit with main guns, it gets it's 1.2% per shell hit. And the gun reload is 6 seconds. So it's a really fast firing ship on 52s. HE shell pen's 30 millimeters, AP is 2950, and the gun range is 17.8. Yeah, shell speed's pretty good, so it's going to help it be able to hit more targets. And the fact this thing gets 12 guns too, you're going to get that really fast. So I'm interested to see how it goes with this gimmick. But the fact that, yeah, the F key is its gimmick with the modified secondaries, yes. I'm interested to see how this goes through its test cycle. Like, it looks pretty nice. Like, it looks like a fun gimmick. We'll have to see, though. We'll have to see. All right, for the final ship, it's going to be I'm going to call it the Fanta. So this is the Tier 9 Spanish battleship. For armor, it's essentially like a Duncan. Yeah, this is a Duncan. Tier 9 Duncan hull. It gets St. Turtleback as a Duncan, so hard as Citadel, but it's still possible. So you just got to be careful of that. But, yeah. Survivability is going to be 79,000. Not the tankiest Tier 9, but still is okay amount of HP. We get 9 guns for 06mm guns. Good damage for the AP shells. 12 solid 600. HE damage is okay. Shell speed's 836, so not the fastest. Secondaries, definitely not worth building into. Really bad dispersion there. Airstrike's 10 kilometers, that's standard. Anti-air is really good. 9 flax, 5.2 kilometer range. Not the best range, but this damage on these are actually... Wait, what? I'm confused here. Okay, so there's short range 2 kilometers. Mid range is 3.7. Okay, so never mind. The anti-air is only good in like a 1.7 kilometer area. Yeah, it's not as good as I thought. Yeah, never mind. Anti-air is bad. For like comparing it from tier to tier. 32.5 knot speed, 970 meter turning radius. Rudder shift is 7 seconds. Turning radius is okay, not the best. Rudder shift is also rough. And max speed is 13.5, concealment is 16.8, so not the best concealment. But yeah, this is what the ship looks like. All the guns are in the front, with 1 point in the back. Let's see, what are your consumables? HEAP, you get a standard heal, damage control party, AP, HE, and for its F key, it gets more AP damage, more HE damage, and it reduces the firing range, and it makes us reload 16.7 seconds longer. So when you have the F key active, it makes the reload 35 seconds. When you have it off, it's 30 seconds. I guess it is being useful. Like if you're having to like, its range is 14.5 when it has the F key active. So maybe you're trying to punish someone's broadside because it makes that damage 15,750. That's a lot of damage. So I expect the build for this whenever it comes out, if they keep the gimmick, is probably going to be built into super heavy AP to get extra damage for that AP to stack it up with that F key to be able to punish citadels. Let me take a look real quick at the dev log because I want to make sure if this ship has any special AP. For the AP, I don't think it does. I'm looking at it right now. It doesn't say it has any special AP shells or HE, so I think the shells are standard. So it doesn't have any improved ricochet, so essentially it's just regular AP shells. Okay. I was just curious. Okay. But yeah, overall, pretty interesting gimmick for it. It's going to be fun to see how it goes whenever it turns out. But yeah, definitely interesting. I'm glad they're rigging another destroyer line. It just adds more variety to the game for the destroyers. We're getting we're getting a Pan American cruiser tier 10. That's going to be nice with an interesting secondary AP gimmick. And then we have the Fanta with its interesting F key where it does more damage with its AP shells and HE, but slightly longer reload. So pretty interesting gimmicks overall. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about the ships overall. But so far, they're interesting. Like, I'm just gonna wait and see how they turn out through the testing process. But yeah,